I walked into the lawyer's office expecting a signature, maybe a bittersweet moment, not a challenge. My grandmother left me her entire estate only if I spent 30 days running her failing diner with a man I'd never met, who apparently hated the idea even more than I did. And I didn't realize it yet, but those 30 days would change everything. I'm standing in a lawyer's office that smells like old books and expensive wood polish, and the woman across the desk just told me my grandmother left me everything: her house, her diner, her entire life savings. But only if I agree to spend the next 30 days running the diner with someone I've never met. His name is Owen, the lawyer says, sliding a document across the desk. He's the grandson of your grandmother's former business partner, Rita. The diner was co-owned by both women for 40 years, and the will specifies that you both must work together for 1 full month before either of you can inherit your respective shares. I'm trying to process this. My grandmother Helen died 3 weeks ago. I flew in for the funeral, cried through the whole thing, flew back to my tiny apartment in the city. I'm a graphic designer, freelance, barely making rent, surviving on ramen and hope. The idea that she left me anything feels surreal. The idea that there are conditions feels very, very on brand for her. What if I say no? I ask. Then everything goes to charity, the lawyer says simply. The diner gets sold, the house gets sold, all proceeds donated. Your grandmother was very clear about this. And if Owen says no, same result. You both have to agree and you both have to complete the 30 days. I sit back in the chair, my mind racing. 30 days. I can do 30 days. I work remotely anyway. I can bring my laptop. It's not like I have anything tying me to the city except a lease that's up next month and a dating life that's been dead for 6 months. Where is the diner? I ask. Riverside. About 2 hours north of here. Small town, population around 8,000. The diner's called Helen's. Well, it was called Helen and Rita's until Rita passed 5 years ago. Your grandmother never changed the sign. Riverside. I haven't been there since I was maybe 12. I have vague memories of summers spent in my grandmother's kitchen, learning to make pie crust, listening to her tell stories about the regulars. She always wanted me to take over the diner someday, but I had other plans. College, design school, the city. I thought I was building something bigger. Now I'm 26, barely scraping by, and apparently my grandmother's backup plan is the only thing standing between me and complete financial disaster. Okay, I say, I'll do it. The lawyer nods like she expected this. Owen has already agreed as well. He'll meet you at the diner tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. The diner opens at 6:30. 6 a.m. I haven't seen 6 a.m. voluntarily since college. One more thing, the lawyer adds, and something in her tone makes me nervous. Your grandmother left letters. One for you, one for Owen. She requested you read them before you begin. She hands me an envelope, thick cream paper, my name written in my grandmother's shaky handwriting. I take it, but I don't open it. I can't. Not here in this office with this stranger watching. I leave with the envelope burning a hole in my bag, drive back to my apartment in a daze. It's a studio, barely big enough for a bed and a desk, plants dying on the windowsill because I keep forgetting to water them. I sit on my bed and finally open the envelope. The letter is 2 pages, front and back, and it's so perfectly my grandmother that I start crying before I even finish the first paragraph. My darling Lily, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye properly. I wanted to, but the end came faster than expected. That's life, I suppose. Never quite on our schedule. I'm leaving you the diner because I believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself right now. I know you think you're supposed to be doing something bigger, something more important than running a small town restaurant, but sweetheart, there's nothing bigger than feeding people, creating community, giving folks a place to belong. Owen is a good man. You'll like him once you get past the first impression. He's been hurt and he's defensive, and he probably won't make this easy for you, but give him a chance. Give yourself a chance. 30 days, Lily. That's all I'm asking. The diner is struggling. I won't lie to you. Business hasn't been good since Rita passed, and I haven't had the energy to fix it. But between the two of you, your creativity and Owen's heart, I think you can save it. I think you can make it something special again. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'm sorry for the conditions, but I needed to know you'd both really try. Love always, Grandma Helen. I read it 3 times, crying harder each time. She knew. Somehow she knew I was struggling, that I was barely keeping my head above water in the city, that I needed something to hold on to. I spend the rest of the day packing. I don't have much. Clothes, laptop, art supplies, a box of kitchen stuff I never use. My landlord is weirdly thrilled when I tell him I'm breaking my lease early. Apparently he has a nephew who needs a place. I load everything into my car, a 10-year-old sedan that makes concerning noises but still runs, and I drive north. It's late afternoon when I leave and the sun is setting by the time I reach Riverside. The town looks exactly like I remember. One main street, shops closing up for the evening, a movie theater with a marquee that's definitely seen better days. My grandmother's house is on the edge of town, a small blue cottage with a wraparound porch and a garden that's overgrown now. I have the key the lawyer gave me and I let myself in. Everything is exactly as she left it. Her reading glasses on the side table, a mug in the sink, photographs covering every available surface. I don't let myself cry again. I just unload my car, make up the guest bedroom, try to sleep, but I'm too anxious about tomorrow, about meeting Owen, about what the hell I've agreed to. My alarm goes off at 5:15, and I immediately regret every decision that led me here. But I get up, shower, put on jeans and a sweater that feels appropriate for diner work. I make coffee in my grandmother's kitchen using her old percolator, and the familiar smell makes my chest tight. The diner is a 5-minute drive from the house. It sits on Main Street, a classic silver bullet-style building with red vinyl booths, visible through the big windows. The sign above the door still says Helen and Rita's in faded letters, and there are mason jars with dead flowers on each table. There's a truck already parked outside. Someone's here. I grab my bag, take a deep breath, and walk up to the door. It's unlocked. I push it open and step inside, and the smell hits me immediately. Coffee and grease and something sweet. Cinnamon, maybe. It smells like childhood. We're closed, a voice says from the kitchen, and it's deep and annoyed. I'm Lily, I call out. Helen's granddaughter. There's a long pause. Then footsteps, and a guy emerges from the kitchen wiping his hands on a towel. He stops when he sees me, and I stop when I see him. Owen is not what I expected. He's tall, maybe 6'2", with dark hair that's a little too long, and brown eyes that are currently staring at me with something that looks a lot like suspicion. He's wearing jeans and a flannel shirt with the sleeves rolled up, and there's flour on his hands. You're Lily, he says, and it's not a question. You're Owen, I reply. Yeah, he doesn't smile, doesn't offer to shake hands, just stands there looking at me like I'm a problem he has to solve. You read the letter? Yeah, you? Yeah. The silence stretches out, awkward and tense. I can feel him evaluating me, trying to figure out what kind of person I am, whether I'm going to make his life difficult. The feeling is mutual. Look, he finally says, I don't know what your grandmother told you, but this place is is barely hanging on. We're losing money every month. The equipment is ancient, the menu hasn't changed in 20 years, and half the town has stopped coming because they think the food's boring. Good morning to you too, I say, and I can't keep the edge out of my voice. I'm just being honest, he says. If we're going to do this, we need to be realistic about what we're dealing with. Fine, I'm realistic. What do you need me to do? He looks surprised that I'm not arguing. Can you cook? I can follow a recipe. That's not the same thing. Well, it's what you've got, I say. So either teach me or put me on dishes. Something flickers across his face. Maybe respect, maybe just resignation. Fine, come on. We open in 20 minutes and we need to prep. I follow him into the kitchen and it's like stepping back in time. Everything is old but clean, clearly well maintained. There's a huge griddle, a deep fryer, an industrial refrigerator that hums ominously. Owen moves through the space like he knows every inch of it, pulling out ingredients, firing up equipment. Your grandmother's menu, he says, handing me a laminated sheet. Breakfast is eggs, pancakes, waffles, omelets, hash browns, bacon, sausage, toast. Pretty standard. You're on toast and coffee duty. Think you can handle that? I think I can manage toast, I say dryly. Great. Coffee's over there. Mugs are above the machine. We go through about 3 pots before 9 a.m. Keep it fresh. He shows me where everything is, talking fast, clearly impatient. I try to absorb it all, but it's a lot of information, and I'm running on 4 hours of sleep and anxiety. When he flips on the open sign at 6:30 exactly, I'm not ready. I'm absolutely not ready. But then the door opens and an elderly man walks in, and Owen's entire demeanor changes. Morning, Frank, he says, and his voice is warm now, friendly. Usual spot? You know it, Frank says, settling into a booth by the window. He looks at me with curiosity. Who's this? This is Lily, Owen says. Helen's granddaughter. She's helping out for a while. Helen's granddaughter. Frank's face lights up. My God, you look just like her. She talked about you all the time, you know. So proud of you. My throat gets tight. Thank you. You take care of this place, Frank says seriously. Your grandmother loved it more than anything. I will, I promise, and I mean it. More people start arriving. Owen takes orders, works the griddle, moves with efficient precision. I make coffee and toast and try to stay out of his way. It's clear he has a system, clear that he knows all the regulars, remembers their orders without asking. A woman in scrubs comes in and Owen already has her coffee poured. Rough shift, Sarah? He asks. The worst, she sighs. Thank God for this place. Egg white omelet, wheat toast, coming right up. He makes her food while chatting easily, asking about her kids, her husband's new job. She leaves a big tip and squeezes his shoulder on the way out. By 8 a.m., I'm exhausted and we haven't even hit the rush yet. But then it really picks up. Families with kids, construction workers, teenagers skipping school. The diner fills with noise and life and the smell of bacon, and Owen is everywhere at once, cooking and serving and charming everyone who walks through the door. I'm just trying not to burn the toast. Around 9:30, things slow down. Owen pours himself a coffee and leans against the counter, finally still for the first time in 3 hours. You did okay, he says, and it sounds like the words cost him something. Thanks, I say. You're really good at this. He shrugs. I've been working here since I was 16. My grandmother brought me in when my home life got complicated. She taught me everything. There's a story there I can tell, but I don't push. We barely know each other. So what's the plan, I ask, for the 30 days? The plan is we keep the doors open and try not to lose more money, he says flatly. Beyond that, I don't know. Your grandmother seemed to think we'd figure it out together. She left me a letter, I say. She said the diner is struggling and we need to save it. She wasn't wrong. He runs a hand through his hair, and for the first time I see how tired he looks. We've been bleeding customers for 2 years. Not enough to force us to close, but enough that it's only a matter of time. Why? Competition mostly. There's a new breakfast place that opened last year, all modern and Instagram worthy. And honestly, our menu is dated. People want options now, dietary accommodations, things we don't offer. So we update the menu, I say. He looks at me like I just suggested we fly to the moon. It's not that simple. Why not? Because this is Helen and Rita's place, their legacy. We can't just come in and change everything they built, but they're gone, I say gently. And they left us this place because they wanted it to survive. That means adapting. Owen's jaw tightens. You've been here 3 hours and you already want to change everything. I'm not trying to change everything. I'm trying to understand the problem so we can fix it. The problem, he says, voice hard now, is that you're a designer from the city who doesn't know anything about running a diner, and you're here because you need the inheritance money. The words land like a slap. Excuse me? I'm right, aren't I? You need the money. That's why you agreed to this. He is right, but hearing him say it like that, like I'm some kind of opportunist, makes my blood boil. You know what? Yes, I need the money. I'm broke and barely making it work in the city, and my grandmother threw me a lifeline. But that doesn't mean I don't care about this place. She wanted me here. She believed I could help. Or she felt guilty about leaving you out of her life, and this was her way of making up for it. Owen shoots back. You don't know anything about my relationship with my grandmother, I say, voice shaking, and you don't know anything about this diner or this town or what it takes to keep this place running, he counters. We're staring at each other now, both angry, both breathing hard. The door chimes and we both jump. An older woman walks in, takes one look at us, and raises an eyebrow. Everything okay here? She asks. Fine, Owen says, immediately switching to his customer service voice. Morning, Diane. Usual. Please, she says, but she's still watching us with interest. Owen disappears into the kitchen and I'm left making Diane's coffee, hands shaking slightly from the adrenaline. She sits at the counter and studies me. You're Helen's granddaughter, she says. I am. She talked about you constantly, showed everyone pictures. You're an artist, right? Graphic designer? That's the one. She was so proud. Diane accepts her coffee with a nod of thanks. Owen's a good boy, you know. He's had a rough time of it. Lost his parents young, raised by Rita. This place is everything to him. I'm not trying to take it away from him, I say quietly. I know that, and deep down, he knows that too. But he's protective. Rita made him promise to take care of things, and he takes that promise seriously. Owen comes back out with Diane's food, scrambled eggs, bacon, toast. She eats slowly, making small talk, clearly trying to diffuse the tension. When she leaves, she squeezes both our hands. You two figure it out, she says. Helen and Rita would want you to work together, not against each other. After she's gone, Owen and I clean in silence. He washes dishes, I wipe down tables. The morning rush is over, and we don't have another customer until almost 11, a young couple with a toddler. Finally, around noon, Owen unties his apron. I'm taking a break, he says. You want anything from the store? I'm good. He leaves and I'm alone in the diner for the first time. I walk around slowly, really looking at everything. The photos on the walls, my grandmother and Rita through the decades, arm in arm, laughing, pictures of regular customers, of the town, of events and celebrations. This place has history, has meaning. I can feel it in every worn booth, every scuffed patch of linoleum. My phone buzzes. It's my best friend Ava. How's small town life? Her text says. Complicated, I reply. The guy I'm working with hates me. me. Give it time. You're charming. Not sure charm works when someone thinks you're only here for money. Are you only there for money? I stare at that question for a long time before answering. I don't know anymore. Owen comes back 20 minutes later with groceries. He starts putting things away, and I notice he bought fresh fruit, vegetables, good bread. What's all this? I ask. Ingredients, he says. I want to test some new menu items after close. I blink. I thought you said we couldn't change the menu. I said it wasn't simple. He corrects. I didn't say we shouldn't try, but we're testing first. If the food isn't good, there's no point. Can I help? He hesitates, then nods. Yeah, okay. The afternoon is slow, just a handful of customers. At 3 p.m., Owen flips the sign to closed and locks the door. The diner is only open for breakfast and lunch, apparently. He told me his grandmother couldn't handle dinner service anymore toward the end, so they cut back. Help me pull out some serving plates, he says. We need to present this right. We work in the kitchen together, and it's less tense now. He's focused on the food, explaining what he's making. An avocado toast with poached eggs, a modern take on an omelet with fresh vegetables, a breakfast bowl with quinoa and roasted sweet potatoes. The problem is, he says while chopping vegetables, people want healthy options, but they also want comfort food. We need to balance both. What if we kept the classic menu items but added a section called something like new traditions for the updated stuff? I suggest. He pauses mid-chop. That's actually not terrible. Wow, high praise. I'm serious. That way we honor what Helen and Rita built, but we also move forward. We could even note which items were their originals. We spend the next hour cooking and tasting, adjusting seasonings, plating things different ways. Owen is completely different in this mode. Passionate, creative, willing to experiment. He tells me about flavor profiles and presentation, and I tell him about visual appeal and branding. This avocado toast, I say, needs height. Stack the elements instead of laying them flat. It photographs better that way. Why does it need to photograph well? Because people post their food on Instagram. If it looks good, it's free advertising. He considers this. Okay, show me. I rearrange the dish, making it taller, adding a sprinkle of seeds on top for texture. He takes a picture with his phone and nods slowly. Yeah, that does look better. We're cleaning up when I work up the courage to ask something that's been bugging me. Why did you say yes to the 30 days? Owen's quiet for a long moment, scrubbing a pan. My grandmother, Rita, she raised me. She was everything to me, and she loved Helen like a sister. When Rita died, Helen was there every single day, making sure I was okay, keeping me involved in the diner even when I wanted to run away from everything. She saved me, honestly. So when her will said she wanted this, wanted us to work together, I owed her. You don't owe dead people, I say softly. Maybe not, but I owe her memory, and I owe this place. He sets the clean pan aside. What about you? Why'd you really say yes? I think about lying, about giving him some noble reason, but something about this moment feels important, feels like the beginning of actual honesty. My life in the city is falling apart, I admit. I'm barely making rent, barely getting by. My grandmother's timing was perfect, honestly, too perfect. Part of me thinks she knew somehow, that she could see I was struggling and this was her way of helping without making it feel like charity. Was it charity? Owen asks, not unkindly. I don't know, maybe, but she also said something in her letter about believing in me, and I haven't had a lot of people believe in me lately. So yeah, I need the money, but I need this. I need something to work toward that isn't just survival. Owen nods slowly. Okay, that's fair. So truce? I offer. For the next 29 days at least. Truce, he agrees. And this time when he looks at me, there's less suspicion and more curiosity. The next morning, I'm less panicked about opening. I know where things are, know the basic rhythm. Frank comes in at 6:32 like clockwork, and this time when I bring him his coffee, he tells me a story about my grandmother and a pie eating contest in 1987. I'm laughing so hard I almost spill the coffee. Owen watches this interaction with something like approval. Sarah the nurse comes in again, looking even more exhausted than yesterday. Owen makes her the usual, but then he adds a side of fresh fruit. On the house, he says. You look like you need it. You're a saint, she says. The morning passes in a blur of orders and conversations. I'm getting better at the toast, burning fewer slices. Owen teaches me how to work the griddle during a slow moment, showing me how to crack eggs one-handed, how to tell when pancakes are ready to flip. You're not hopeless, he says. And I think that might be his version of a compliment. Thanks, I think. Around 10 a.m., a woman walks in who I don't recognize, which is saying something because I'm starting to recognize the regulars. She's maybe mid-30s, perfectly styled, carrying a leather portfolio. She looks around the diner with an expression I can't quite read. Can I help you? Owen asks, but his tone has gone carefully neutral. Hi, Owen, she says. And there's history in those two words. I heard Helen passed. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Claire. Claire. The name means something to Owen. I can tell. His whole posture has changed, gone defensive. I also heard that you're running the place now, Claire continues. With a partner? Temporary partner? Owen corrects. This is Lily, Helen's granddaughter. Claire turns to me with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Nice to meet you. I'm Claire Winters. I run Sunrise Kitchen, the breakfast place across town. The competition. This is the competition. Nice to meet you too, I say carefully. I wanted to stop by and offer my condolences, but also, she opens her portfolio. I'd like to make an offer to buy the diner. Owen's face goes completely blank. It's not for sale. I know you're attached to it, Claire says smoothly. But Owen, be realistic. This place is struggling. You've been losing customers for months. I'm offering you a way out with dignity. I'll keep the name, keep the history. I'll even keep you on as a manager if you want. The answer is no, Owen says flatly. At least look at the number. She slides a paper across the counter. That's my offer. It's generous. More than generous considering the state of things. Owen doesn't even glance at it. Claire, no. This place isn't for sale. Not to you, not to anyone. You're being stubborn, she says. And now there's an edge to her voice. You can't compete with me, Owen. You know that. I have investors. I have a marketing budget. I have a modern concept. You have nostalgia and old equipment. We have community, Owen says. We have people who've been coming here for 40 years. That's worth more than your investors. Claire sighs like she's dealing with a difficult child. Fine. But when you change your mind, and you will, you know where to find me. She looks at me. Nice meeting you, Lily. Good luck. You'll need it. She leaves and Owen crumples up the paper without looking at it, tosses it in the trash. Ex-girlfriend? I guess. Something like that, he mutters. We dated for a while. She always wanted me to quit the diner, said I was wasting my potential. When I wouldn't leave, she left me. Opened Sunrise 6 months later, right in our territory. That's wow. Yeah. He's gripping the edge of the counter so hard his knuckles are white. She wants to destroy this place. She always has. This offer is just her way of rubbing it in. Then we make sure she doesn't win, I say firmly. He looks at me surprised. What? We make this place so good, so successful that she regrets ever doubting you. We save the diner, we honor our grandmothers, and we prove Claire wrong. wrong. All of it. Something shifts in Owen's expression. You mean that? I absolutely mean that. Nobody gets to come into our place and act like we're already defeated. Our place, he repeats softly, for the next 28 days at least, I say with a small smile. He almost smiles back. Almost. Okay, then we need a real plan. Not just new menu items, a full strategy. I can do strategy, I say. It's literally what I do for clients. Branding, marketing, visual identity. I can help with all of that. I don't have money for a designer. Good thing you have a designer who's contractually obligated to be here. This time he does smile, just a little. Okay, tonight after close, we strategize. The rest of the day I'm buzzing with ideas. During slow moments, I sketch logo concepts in my notebook, thinking about how to modernize the brand without losing its heart. I take pictures of the space, the details, the way light comes through the windows. Owen notices. What are you doing? Research. If we're going to market this place, I need to understand what makes it special. Everything makes it special, he says simply. Every corner has a memory. Then help me understand the memories. So during the quiet afternoon, Owen tells me stories. About Rita teaching him to make the perfect pancake when he was 10. About Helen's infamous Christmas parties where half the town would cram into the diner. About regulars who've been coming for so long they have their names carved into their favorite booths. That's Frank's booth, he says, pointing to the one by the window. He proposed to his wife there in 1972. She said yes. She said yes. They were married 48 years before she passed. I'm taking notes now, furiously scribbling everything. These are the stories we need to tell, the connections we need to highlight. After we close, Owen pulls out a notebook and we sit in a booth together. Papers spread between us. Okay, I say. What are our strengths? History, community, authentic food made with care. What are our weaknesses? Outdated menu, old equipment, limited hours, no online presence. What's our competition doing that we're not? Owen grimaces. Everything. They're on Instagram, they have a website, they do online ordering, they're open for dinner, they have a full bar. We can't compete with all of that, I say. But we don't have to. We just need to be different, be better at what we do. What's our unique advantage? Heart, Owen says immediately. We actually care about the people who come here. Claire's place is all about the aesthetic, the brand. We're about connection. Okay, so we lean into that. We tell the stories. We make people feel like they're part of something bigger than just getting breakfast. We work for hours, building out a plan, update the menu with Owen's new items, but keep the classics. Launch an Instagram account showcasing both food and community stories. Create a simple website with online ordering for pickup. Start a regulars wall where people can share their memories. This is good, Owen says around midnight looking at our notes. This is really good. We can do this, I say, and I'm surprised by how much I believe it. Yeah, he agrees, we can. I drive home exhausted but energized. My grandmother's house feels a little less empty tonight. I text Ava. I think I might actually be able to save this place. She responds immediately. That's my girl. Also, is the guy still being an ass? He's getting better. We might actually become something like friends. Friends or friends? Do not start with me, Ava. I'm just saying. Forced proximity, shared mission, small town charm. This is very Hallmark movie of you. It's not like that. He's a business partner. Temporary business partner. Sure, keep telling yourself that. I go to sleep rolling my eyes at her text, but there's a small part of me, a part I'm absolutely not acknowledging, that noticed the way Owen's face looks when he's concentrating on cooking, or the way he smiles at the regulars, or how his voice gets softer when he's talking about his grandmother's. But that's completely irrelevant. We have 28 days to save a diner. There's no room for anything else. The next morning I show up at 5:30 instead of 6, and Owen's already there, looking surprised. Couldn't sleep, I explain. Figured I'd make myself useful. I was going to test the avocado toast, he says. Want to help? We spend the hour before opening perfecting the recipe, adjusting seasoning, testing different ways to poach the eggs. When the first customers arrive, we add it as a special, and by 9 a.m. we've sold 8 orders. People love it, Owen says, and he looks almost shocked. Of course they do. It's delicious. Sarah the nurse comes in and I suggest she try the new breakfast bowl. She does, and when she tastes it, her eyes actually close in appreciation. Owen, this is incredible, she says. When did you get so fancy? Had some help, he says, glancing at me. Well, keep it up. I'm telling everyone at the hospital. By noon, we're both exhausted again, but in a good way. We sold out of the avocado toast, nearly ran out of the breakfast bowls, and had 3 people ask if we're going to add these to the permanent menu. I think that's a yes, I say. I think you might be right. That afternoon, I create an Instagram account for the diner while Owen preps for tomorrow. I use pictures I took over the past few days. The food, the space, Frank and his booth. For the first post I write, Helen and Rita's has been serving this community for 40 years. Same love, same care, some new flavors. Come see what's cooking. I show it to Owen before posting. He reads it twice, then nods. Post it. Within an hour, we have 50 followers. By evening, over 100. People are commenting, sharing memories, tagging friends. This is wild, Owen says, scrolling through the comments on his phone. Mrs. Patterson just shared a photo from 1985 of her and Rita. See? People care about this place. We just have to remind them. We start a routine. Early mornings, testing new recipes, busy service, quiet afternoons, planning and creating content. I design a new menu with Owen's input, keeping the classic items but adding a new traditions section like we discussed. I create posts featuring regulars and their stories. Owen perfects dish after dish, slowly building confidence in his cooking. Frank's story goes viral. Well, viral for a small town. I post about his proposal booth and suddenly we have couples coming in specifically to sit there, taking photos, sharing their own engagement stories. We're becoming a destination, Owen says, sounding amazed. We're becoming what we always were, I correct. We're just telling people about it now. Days blur together. 5 days in, we're noticeably busier. 7 days in, we have a wait for tables during peak breakfast hour. 10 days in, Owen suggests we might need to hire additional help. We can't do this alone if business keeps growing, he says. Good problem to have, I point out. We're sitting in a booth after close, both too tired to move. My feet hurt. I smell like bacon. And I can't remember the last time I felt this satisfied with my work. Can I ask you something? Owen says. Sure. Why'd you really leave design? Not the money stuff, the real reason. I'm quiet for a moment, deciding how honest to be. I wasn't any good at it, I finally admit. Or I was technically good, but I couldn't find clients who valued my work. I kept taking jobs where people wanted me to copy what was trendy instead of creating something original. And eventually I just lost confidence. Started thinking maybe I wasn't as talented as I thought. That's bullshit, Owen says bluntly. Excuse me? Everything you've designed for this place, the menu, the social media, the branding, it's all incredible. You have a gift, Lily. You just weren't in the right environment to use it. Something in my chest cracks open. Thanks, I manage. I mean it. You've changed this place in less than 2 weeks. Claire couldn't do that with all her investors and marketing budget. You did it with a phone and creativity and actually giving giving a damn. We did it, I correct. Your food is what makes it work. I just help people see it. Team effort, he says, and the way he's looking at me makes my heart do something complicated. Ava would be insufferable if she could see us right now. Day 13 brings our first real crisis. The freezer breaks down overnight and we lose half our refrigerated stock. Owen discovers it at 5 a.m. and I hear him swear from the parking lot when I arrive. How bad, I ask. Bad. We have maybe a third of what we need for normal service. So we do limited menu today. Feature items that use what we have. Make it sound intentional. And tomorrow? Tomorrow we restock, but today we survive. We create a post. Limited menu today featuring our absolute favorites. First come, first served. Trust us, it's worth it. The scarcity actually works in our favor. We sell out by 11 a.m. Have people begging us to open tomorrow, creating buzz. Owen uses the afternoon to work with a repair guy on the freezer, while I handle calls from our new regulars asking when we'll be fully stocked again. This is insane, Owen says that evening. People are calling like we're some exclusive restaurant because you made them feel like part of something special. They don't want to miss out. Day 15. We're fully restocked and busier than ever. Day 16, we hire a part-time server, a college student named Chris who's enthusiastic and learns fast. Day 17, Claire comes back. She walks in during the lunch rush, and this time she doesn't look smug. She looks curious. Busy today, she observes. We're doing okay, Owen says carefully. I've been watching your Instagram. It's impressive, very authentic. Thanks. My offer still stands, you know. Actually, I'd be willing to go higher. You've increased the value significantly. Still not interested, Owen says. Claire looks at me. You did all this, didn't you? The social media, the branding. We did it together, I say. Well, if things don't work out here, I'd love to talk to you about consulting. I could use someone with your skills. I appreciate that, I say. But I'm exactly where I want to be. After she leaves, Owen is quiet for a long time. You could have said yes to her, he finally says. That consulting work probably pays better than whatever inheritance you're getting. I told you, I'm where I want to be. He studies me. You really mean that? I really do. This place, this work, it means something. How often do you get to help save something worth saving? Not often, he admits. Day 18. We hit our biggest day yet. Every table full, people waiting outside, Chris running back and forth with coffee refills. Owen is in his element at the griddle, and I'm helping where I can. And for the first time since I arrived, I'm not thinking about the 30-day deadline. I'm just here, present, happy. That night after close, we're cleaning and Owen puts on music. It's oldies, the kind of stuff our grandmothers probably listen to. He's singing along badly while wiping down tables, and I'm laughing, and somehow we end up dancing. If you can call our exhausted shuffling dancing. We're ridiculous, I say. We've earned ridiculous, he counters. His hands are on my waist and mine are on his shoulders, and we're barely moving, just swaying to some Sinatra song. And I realize this is the most comfortable I've felt with another person in years. Lily, he starts, and there's something in his voice that makes my breath catch. But then his phone rings. He pulls away to answer it, and the moment breaks. It's my sister, he mouths, stepping outside. I finish cleaning alone, trying to process whatever just happened, or almost happened, or might have been nothing at all. When Owen comes back in, he looks troubled. Everything okay? I ask. Yeah, no, I don't know. He runs a hand through his hair. My sister's getting married next month. Big wedding, lots of family. She wants me to bring someone. Oh, and my family is, they're a lot. They'll ask questions, make assumptions. I usually just avoid these things, but it's my sister. I can't skip it. You could take a friend, I suggest. All my friends are married or dating. They'd just bring their partners, and I'd be the awkward single guy getting pitying looks from my aunts. There's a long pause where we both realize something at the same time. Would you want to come? He asks quickly. As a friend, I mean. Purely platonic, just to help me avoid the interrogation. My brain knows this is a terrible idea. We're business partners in a temporary arrangement. We've only known each other 18 days. Adding a fake wedding date situation is how things get complicated. But my mouth says, sure, yeah, I'll come. Really? Really? What are fake business partners for? He grins. Thank you. Seriously, you're saving my life. Day 19 is Sunday, and we're closed. Owen suggests we take a real day off, not work on diner stuff at all. We end up hiking a trail outside town, neither of us particularly outdoorsy, but both needing air and space. Can I tell you something weird? Owen says as we're walking. Always. I'm glad your grandmother put that clause in the will. At first I was angry about it, thought it was manipulative, but now I'm glad. This has been good. You being here. I'm glad too, I admit. I was so lost before this. I didn't even realize how lost until I got here and had something to actually work toward. What happens after the 30 days? He asks. It's the question we've both been avoiding. I don't know. I inherit my half, you inherit yours. We decide what to do with the diner. We could keep working together, he says carefully. If you wanted. You mean stay in Riverside? I mean, you work remotely anyway, right? You could do your design work from here and help with the diner. We make a good team. My heart is racing. We do make a good team. So think about it. No pressure, just think about it. Day 20 brings a health inspection. Random, routine, but terrifying nonetheless. Owen is stress cleaning everything twice while Chris and I try to stay out of his way. The inspector is thorough, checking every corner, every piece of equipment. She finally finishes and hands Owen her report. You passed easily. This place is cleaner than most new restaurants I inspect. Owen looks like he might cry from relief. Thank you. That freezer needs upgrading though, she adds. It's old, still functional, but I'd start saving for a replacement. After she leaves, Owen deflates. We don't have money for a new freezer. We will, I say confidently. Business is growing. We keep this up. We'll have equipment money in a few months. You really believe that? I really do. Day 22 is the wedding. Owen picks me up in his truck, looking uncomfortable in a suit. I'm wearing a dress I borrowed from Ava, who overnighted it to me while texting, "You're going to a wedding together?" about 50 times. You look nice, Owen says, and his ears go red. You too, very dapper. I don't know what that means, but thanks. The wedding is an hour away, and we spend the drive going over our story. We met through the diner. We're just friends. No, we're not dating. Yes, we work together. No, we don't know what happens after the 30 days. Keep it vague, Owen instructs. My family will pry but just deflect. His family is indeed intense. Within 5 minutes of arriving, I've been hugged by at least 12 people and interrogated by his mother, who's lovely but very direct. So you're not dating? She asks, studying us. Just friends, I confirm. She says, in a tone that clearly means she doesn't believe me. The wedding is beautiful. Owen's sister looks radiant. His new brother-in-law looks terrified in the cute way grooms do. During the ceremony, I catch Owen getting emotional, and I take his hand without thinking. He squeezes back. At the reception, we're seated with Owen's cousins, who are all hilarious and slightly drunk. They tell embarrassing stories about Owen's childhood, and he retaliates with stories about them, and I'm laughing so hard my face hurts. I like you, one cousin announces, pointing at me with her champagne glass. You're good for him. He's been too serious for too long. We're just friends. friends, I say automatically. Sure you are, she says with a wink. When the dancing starts, Owen's mother practically pushes us onto the floor. Go on, you have to dance at least once. So we dance, and it's like that night in the diner, but different. More public, more real. Owen's hand is on my waist and mine is on his shoulder, and we're moving to some slow song I don't recognize. Sorry about my family, he says. Don't be, they're wonderful. They're assuming things about us. I know. Does that bother you? I look up at him, and I'm suddenly very aware of how close we are, how well we fit together, how his eyes are actually hazel, not just brown. No, I say honestly, it doesn't bother me. Something shifts in his expression. Lily, but then the song ends and people are clapping and the moment passes. Again, we drive home late, both exhausted. Owen walks me to my grandmother's door. Thank you for today, he says. Really, you made it bearable. It was more than bearable, it was fun. Yeah. We're standing close and the porch light is casting shadows, and I think maybe this time he's actually going to kiss me, but then he steps back. See you tomorrow, he says. See you tomorrow, I echo. I go inside and immediately call Ava. I think I'm in trouble. What kind of trouble? The falling for my business partner kind of trouble? Finally, she shrieks. I've been waiting for you to admit it. It's not helpful, Ava. It's very helpful. It means you're alive again. You're feeling things. When was the last time you felt things? She has a point. But the 30 days end in 8 days. What if he doesn't feel the same? What if this ruins everything? Or, Ava says, what if it makes everything better? Stop being scared, Lily. Take a risk. Day 23. We're busier than we've ever been. The wedding took up our Sunday, so we're both tired. But the diner is packed and people keep asking when we're going to expand hours or add dinner service. Maybe we should consider it, I say during a rare quiet moment. Dinner service? Eventually. Not now, but if we keep growing, we'd need more staff, better equipment, a bigger menu. But it's possible. Owen looks around the diner, at all the full tables, at Chris efficiently handling customers. Yeah, he says slowly. It's possible. That afternoon, I get an email from a potential client. Someone saw my Instagram work for the diner and wants me to brand their new business. The money they're offering is significant. I should be excited. This is what I wanted. Validation, good clients, real work. But all I can think is that taking on a big client means less time for the diner, less time here. I show Owen the email. That's amazing, he says. You should do it. It's a lot of work. You can handle it. You're incredibly talented. But what about the diner? The diner will be fine. We'll figure it out. There's something in his voice, something resigned. And I realize he thinks I'm already planning to leave. That once the 30 days are up, I'll go back to my real life and forget about this place. Owen, I start. But then customers come in and we're swept up in service again, and the conversation dies. Day 25, I make a decision. I reply to the potential client and accept the project, but I tell them I'm staying in Riverside and working remotely. They're fine with it. I don't tell Owen yet. I want to be sure first, want to make sure I'm not making this choice for the wrong reasons. That night we're cleaning up and Owen's phone rings. He looks at the screen and his face does something complicated. It's Claire, he says. Answer it. He does, putting it on speaker. What do you want, Claire? I'm calling with some news, she says, and she doesn't sound smug for once. I'm closing Sunrise Kitchen. Owen nearly drops the phone. What? My investors pulled out. Turns out running a trendy breakfast place in a small town isn't as profitable as they thought. I'm closing end of next month. I'm sorry, Owen says, and he actually sounds like he means it. Don't be. You were right, okay? I tried to compete with what you have here, and I couldn't. People don't just want good food. They want connection. They want history. I was so focused on the aesthetic that I forgot about the heart. She pauses. Anyway, congratulations. You won. She hangs up and Owen just stares at the phone. We won, I say softly. We won, he repeats like he can't quite believe it. Then he's laughing, and I'm laughing, and we're hugging, and the hug lasts longer than it probably should. When we pull apart, his hands stay on my arms. I couldn't have done this without you, he says. Yes, you could have. No, I really couldn't. You gave me confidence to try new things, to take risks. You reminded me why this place matters. You did the same for me, I admit. I forgot I was good at anything. You helped me remember. We're standing very close again. And this time I don't think either of us is going to pull away. Lily, Owen says, and his voice is rough. I need to tell you something. Okay. These past 25 days have been the best days I've had in years. And it's not just because the diner is doing well. It's because of you. Being around you, working with you, laughing with you. I don't want it to end when the 30 days are up. My heart is thundering in my chest. It doesn't have to end. What are you saying? I'm saying I accepted that design project, but I told them I'm staying here. I'm saying I don't want to go back to the city. I'm saying I take a breath. I'm saying I think I'm falling for you. And that terrifies me. But it also feels like the first real thing I've felt in a long time. Owen's face breaks into the biggest smile I've ever seen on him. You're staying? I'm staying if you want me to. If I want you to? He laughs. Lily, I've been trying to figure out how to ask you to stay for the past week. I've been terrified you'd leave and I'd never see you again. You wouldn't have had to try very hard, I admit. I was already planning to stay. I just didn't know if you wanted me to. I want you to, he says firmly. I really, really want you to. And then finally, he kisses me. It's soft and sweet and tastes like coffee. And when we break apart, we're both grinning like idiots. So what does this mean? I ask. For us? I think it means we're more than business partners, Owen says. Probably should have specified that in the will. I joke. I think our grandmothers knew, he says seriously. I think that's why they did this. They wanted us to find each other. That's very romantic for two women who never met. They were friends, Owen says. Rita used to talk about Helen all the time, about her granddaughter who was an artist who was struggling but had so much potential. And Helen talked about Rita's grandson, about how he needed someone to believe in him again. I think they were matchmaking from beyond the grave. Sneaky grandmothers, the sneakiest. Day 28 is chaos. Word has spread that we're now the only breakfast place in town after Claire's closing, and we're absolutely slammed. We're running out of food by 10 a.m. Chris is running ragged, and Owen and I are both exhausted but exhilarated. We need to hire more people, Owen says during a 2-second break. Like, immediately. Already on it, I say, showing him my phone. I posted on the town Facebook group. We have 5 applications already. Have I mentioned lately that you're amazing? Not in the last hour. He kisses my cheek quickly before diving back into orders, and Chris catches it and grins at me. I roll my eyes at him, but I'm smiling. That evening, we sit down with the actual numbers. The diner has made more money in the past month than it did in the previous 6 months combined. We're profitable again, solidly so. We can afford the new freezer, Owen says, looking at the spreadsheet in awe, and new equipment, and raises for Chris, and hiring 2 more people. And dinner service, I add. If we want. Do we want? I think about it. Yeah, I think we do, but let's do it right. Slow rollout, limited menu at first, build up gradually. Look at you, sounding like a business owner. I am a business owner, I say, or I will be in 2 days. Day 29 feels surreal. Tomorrow the 30 days are up. Tomorrow we officially inherit. Tomorrow the diner is legally ours. We spend the day in a weird, nostalgic haze. face, both of us remembering that first awkward meeting. How much has changed. After close, Owen pulls out 2 glasses and a bottle of wine he's been saving. To Helen and Rita, he says, raising his glass, for being the world's sneakiest, smartest grandmothers. To Helen and Rita, I echo. We drink and talk for hours. About the future, about plans for the diner, about where we see ourselves in a year. Owen wants to enter the diner in some kind of regional competition. I want to expand my design business while still being hands-on with the diner. We both want to keep building this thing we've created together. I love you, Owen says suddenly, and my glass nearly slips from my hand. What? I love you. I've been trying to figure out when to say it, and I realize there's no perfect moment. So I'm just saying it. I love you, Lily. You're brilliant and creative and brave, and you've changed my life completely. Tears are stinging my eyes. I love you too. I think I've loved you since you taught me how to make pancakes without burning them. That was day 3. I know. He kisses me, and it's different from the first kiss. Deeper, more certain, full of promise. Day 30 arrives, and we meet at the lawyer's office. She has all the paperwork ready, walks us through everything. We both sign, officially becoming co-owners of Helen and Rita's. Your grandmothers would be very proud, the lawyer says. I've been handling their affairs for 20 years, and I've never seen them happier than when they were planning this succession. They truly believed you two would be perfect together. They were right, Owen says, taking my hand. We drive back to the diner together, and there's a crowd waiting outside. All our regulars holding a banner that says, "Congratulations, Lily and Owen." Frank is there, and Sarah, and Diane, and Chris, and what looks like half the town. Someone starts clapping, and then everyone is clapping and cheering, and I'm crying and laughing at the same time. Speech, someone shouts. Owen looks at me. You're the talker. We're both the talkers, I say, but I step forward. Thank you all for being here. Helen and Rita built something special, and Owen and I are committed to honoring that legacy while building something new. This diner is more than just a place to eat. It's the heart of this community, and we're so grateful to be a part of it. More cheering. Frank wipes tears from his eyes. Sarah hugs us both. People start heading inside, and we unlock the door, even though we're technically closed today. Guess we're having an impromptu party, Owen says. Guess so. We spend the afternoon celebrating with the people who make this place matter, sharing stories, making food, laughing and crying, and feeling overwhelmingly grateful. As the sun starts to set and people begin to leave, Owen and I find ourselves alone again, just like that first morning, but everything is different now. So, he says, ready for day 31? Ready for all the days, I say. All of them? Every single one. He pulls me close, and we stand there in the diner our grandmothers built, the diner we saved together, and I think about how lost I felt just 30 days ago, how I thought my life was falling apart when really it was just making room for something better. Thank you, I say quietly. For what? For being exactly who you are, for pushing me, challenging me, believing in me, for making me want to stay. Thank you for staying, he says, for giving this place a chance, for giving me a chance. Best decision I ever made. We kiss as the last light fades through the windows, and I know with absolute certainty that this is just the beginning. There will be challenges ahead, equipment failures and difficult customers, and long, exhausting days. But there will also be laughter and creativity and love, and community and growth, and all the tiny moments that make a life worth living. My grandmother gave me an inheritance, but it wasn't the diner or the money. It was this, a second chance, a new beginning, a reminder that sometimes the best things happen when you stop trying to control everything and just let yourself fall. Day 30 is over. The inheritance test is complete, but the real work, the beautiful, messy, wonderful work of building a life together, that's just getting started, and I can't wait.